I, 31F, had a friend Maria, 31F, growing up. We met when we were about 8 or 9, and quickly became best friends. We started slowly growing apart in high school as our schedules changed and almost completely lost touch during college. By the time we were 23, we only saw each other once a year at Christmas for our old friend group's Christmas dinner. Maria got engaged to her high school sweetheart and asked me to be her maid of honor in the wedding. At the time she asked me, we had not seen or spoken to each other in almost 2 years, so it honestly shocked me when she asked, but I agreed. She asked me about a year before the wedding, and after she asked me to be maid of honor, she did not speak to me again for 6 months. I had taken it to mean maybe she wanted to rekindle our friendship and reached out a few times during those 6 months to meet up for lunch or hang out, but she never responded. When she finally texted me, it was to meet up with her and her best friend, one of the bridesmaids, to pick out the dresses for the bridal party. She showed up 3 hours late. Apparently, she and her friend decided to meet up for lunch and to hang out before meeting me at the mall, completely ignoring our agreed upon time and the fact that I had already said I was there and waiting for them. I'm not going to go into details of the next 6 months leading up to the wedding, but that should give you an idea of how it went. By the time the wedding day came, I genuinely felt so used and disrespected. On the day of the wedding, Maria was just mean. I waited until the speeches and the first dance were over, then I left the reception and went home. I have not spoken to her since. It's been about 4 years since her wedding, and I am now engaged and getting married in 2 months. I did not invite Maria or any of our old friend group. In my mind, our friendship is well and truly dead. Apparently, Maria ran into my sister at a store and were chatting and my sister mentioned the wedding. Maria texted me, honestly shocked she still has my number, to send me her address so I knew where to send her invitation and I just responded thank you, but the guest list is already set. Have a nice day. She told the friend group and now they're all blowing up my phone about inviting them for old time's sake and that I owe at least Maria an invitation because I was her maid of honor. They've been posting on social media and now even my mom is getting involved, saying I should invite them all just to keep the peace and out of respect for our old friendship. My argument is that I haven't spoken to them in years, and I don't care about this wedding etiquette thing and I don't owe her an invitation just because I was her maid of honor, especially considering everything that happened with her wedding. But literally only my fiancé is on my side. Comment 1. First conversation is to shut mom down. Tell her the guest list is set and you are happy with it. She doesn't have to like or understand your decision, say merely needs to accept it and stop brining it up. As for the rest, there is no argument to be had. Ignore them. There is no respect for old friendships necessary. No response, block them. Comment 2. NTA. And your fiancé sounds like an amazing person, by your side as they promise to be at your wedding. Sounds like you're both all set. Even if she hadn't treated you horribly, you haven't been in contact with you for years. Thinking you should have invited someone you haven't spoken to for years is so entitled, that I can't even wrap my head around it. You've given her your answer, ignore or block everyone who can't respect it. And if it's someone who's invited that can't respect you, tell them you're regretful they decided to RSVP no. Comment 3. NTA. Ask your mom if she would invite a friend to her wedding who had treated her with the same disrespect as Maria did at her wedding and the months leading up to that. Name all the incidents. Does that sound like an actual friend? Ask your friend group the same thing. If someone treats as follows list of incidents here, would you still call them a friend? You don't want to keep the peace with someone who treats you like shit, then ignores you for years and then makes a fuss about not being invited to your wedding. I would assume they'd only want to come to the wedding to make trouble since they've been doing nothing but. My younger sister, 22F, and I, 23F, were both adopted as infants. We come from the same birth family and were adopted by the same parents a year apart. We also have an older sister, 26F, who is our parents' biological child. My younger sister was always way more curious about our biological family than I was. 2 years ago, my younger sister decided she wanted to find our birth family with help from our parents. But she wanted me to be part of that journey with her. She told me it would be way less awkward and uncomfortable if I was by her side. I said I didn't have the same curiosity as her and I didn't feel like finding them right then. She begged me to do this with her because they were a part of both of our history and origins. When I realized how much this meant to her and how serious she was about including me, I told her I would join her for that, but I would not forge a close family relationship with them just for her, and I expected her to do the rest on her own if she wanted to integrate into their family. She said that she understood and thanked me for doing that with her. With our parents' help, we found our birth family, and I was not at all interested in being closer after meeting them. Our birth parents had 7 more children. The older 2 spent some time in foster care before returning to our birth parents. They were very young when they had us and blamed a lack of resources for not keeping us. But they have way more resources and were even given extra by CPS to help them after the other 2 were returned, and they still seem to be a mess. It made me glad they gave me up for adoption and didn't keep me. I have no doubt they want kids, but I don't think they're fit to be parents. My younger sister was so excited by all these people and wanted to know them. She begged me to spend more time with them and I said no. She pleaded and I told her she agreed to the deal before and needed to stick with it. She told me she needed me and she wanted me to help her through this and to take care of her. I didn't meet them again, but she has established a relationship with our birth parents and birth siblings. One of the birth siblings had a birthday recently and she wanted me to go with her because it was her first time attending something where even more of the birth family would be present. But I had plans with our older sister. My younger sister told me I only ever spend time with our older sister and I never see our birth siblings, and she told me yet again that she needed me and wanted me there by her side with this. So I was like, you need to learn to stand on your own 2 feet and stop expecting me to take care of her. I told her she made adult decisions and needed to grow up and accept she can't expect me to cater to her like this forever. She got so upset and said I made it seem like it was wrong to want to know our birth family. Comment 1. NTA, I would tell her this: you keep telling me what you need but never have a care about what I need. I need to be left out of this. I need you to uphold your end of our agreement. I told you I don't want this, but I helped you anyway. I need you to respect all of that. Go or don't, but stop dragging me into it. Comment 2. NTA. A lot of people seem to be under the impression that all adopted people want some association with their birth family. This may be true for a portion, like your sister, but obviously is not true for everyone, like yourself. Your sister is not able to comprehend that you don't see the excitement that she's finding in this. But worse than that, she's become so entitled that she cannot handle you suddenly telling her no. It doesn't matter how often you said yes to her in the past. All that matters for someone like her is what you're doing for them in the present. Comment 3. NTA. You're doing a great job at setting reasonable boundaries. You aren't your sister's emotional support human. If she wants a relationship with her birth family, she can do that without dragging you along. I, 30F, and my BF, 30M, are unofficially engaged. When we started dating in 2022, we discussed marriage, kids, etc., and figured we'd probably want to get married in 2025. At the start of this year, my BF asked to go ring shopping but wants to surprise me with a proposal, so we're holding off on an official announcement. The thing is, we've been really excited and talking about it a lot, to the point where we accidentally started planning the wedding. I know it sounds bizarre, but honestly we've enjoyed laying the framework in secret because there were no outside opinions and the big decisions would be fait accompli by the time we announce it. Also, when he told his family that we were ring shopping, his sil said it was weird that we were ring shopping before being engaged, so we're not keen to be told that we're being weird again. My sister, 33F, and her fiancé, 34M, got engaged 2 years ago and there were no wedding plans, but last year she mentioned potentially doing it in 2025 and told us to block out June to September. Maybe I should have said something then, but it seemed a bit silly and obnoxious to be like, I think I'm getting married then too, when we really hadn't made that commitment and she was the one who was engaged. Now to where I might be TA. My BF found the perfect venue and the only viable date they had was in August, so we provisionally booked it. While talking to my sister last night, she said she is now thinking about August, so I had to tell her. She got angry because she'd already told everyone not to make plans for those months so that we can be available for her wedding. I suggested she could choose another month since she hasn't planned anything, but I got engaged first, so I should have first choice. She also says planning a wedding at the same time will split the family's attention, which is bad for both of us, so I should wait until after her wedding to get engaged, but that's a no from me. Her final argument, and the only one that makes me question my decision, is that it's cruel to do this considering I know how long she waited to be able to have her moment, and this is really important to her. She and her fiancé had been together for 10 years before he proposed, and I know she'd been waiting for at least 5 of those years. I don't want to hurt my sister, but I really don't see the issue. Yes, it's not the ideal situation, but she's having 20 guests at a destination wedding in Italy while we're having a traditional wedding with 150 guests in the town where I grew up. There won't be guest overlap apart from the immediate family, so as long as it's not on the same day, it should be fine, right? The venue we chose really is perfect for what we want, and I'll be away for work for a big chunk of the year, so the date is ideal. We could cancel and search for a different venue, but I really don't want to unless I'm being TA here. My family know now, but none of them won't get involved, so, comment 1, nah. But tell your sister to think long and hard about a wedding in Italy in August. It's scorching hot, their main holiday month, so everywhere is fully booked and more expensive. She'd be better off having her lovely Italian wedding in June or September. Source: I'm Italian. Been to many Italian weddings. Comment 2. Nah, but it's kind of annoying that you are refusing to see how having 2 weddings in the same month could be a massive inconvenience for your immediate family. Your family would have to shoulder the financial burden of whatever costs they need to pay for your wedding, as well as doing the same for your sister on top of travel expenses. That's a lot, which means your sister probably can't get married in August. I think you should call your sister and tell her that you recognize that your decision removes any August dates from her list of possibilities, but this is the only date that works for you and your fiancé. Comment 3. The sister hasn't even booked anything yet, she's just thinking about August. She's just throwing a fit because she doesn't have any concrete plans yet and Op does. My mom 52F had an affair 7 years ago. My father, 54M, was devastated and they divorced, and mom went and lived with her affair partner and got pregnant. My father was a broken man. He is a sweet and great guy, but he is sensitive. Before he was always happy, bubbly, and he was a wonderful and joyful man, but after he became so depressed. He tried so hard to hide it from me, but I could still hear him cry at night, and he stopped with his hobbies. Basically, he was severely depressed. It took him years of work to get through the betrayal, and he is finally doing better. Well, after the divorce, I 21M decided to just live with my father. We were closer than me and my mom, and I were just so angry with my mother for hurting someone I care about so deeply so much. Her choosing to go stay with her affair partner and have his baby, I felt, was her not owning up to her mistake. It was a continuous insult. I went no contact after she had her baby and did not speak to her for 4 years, but she continuously tried to get in contact with me. After 4 years I started seeing my mother again. We usually go and eat at a restaurant, on the terms I never had to hear anything about her new family, and that worked. But recently she has started to bring up her family, and especially me meeting her affair child, 'cause apparently he has been asking for me. I shut that down quickly with my mother and told her I would go no contact if I tried to push it. Well, now my maternal grandparents are telling me I should reconsider. I even got a call from my mom's affair partner, but I hung up on him after some well-chosen words from my side. Now I have no desire to meet either the affair baby or affair partner, and if I did, I think it would look like I support that relationship and that child's existence, which I don't. My terms were clear when I started contact with my mother again, and honestly, this is a hill I am willing to die on. Comment 1. NTA, you are totally right to do what is best for you and supporting your father. I fear he might feel that growing a relationship with the affair couple and their illegitimate baby might send him spiraling back into depression. You made your terms clear and they just keep pushing your boundaries. I'd go no contact with the lot of them until they can respect you and your position. Comment 2. NTA. My mother did a very similar thing. She had an affair for almost 10 years, then my father finally divorced her. It devastated our whole family. I feel like a shell of who I was before the divorce. Then she got another kid. My brother has been no contact and I am limited contact with her under the condition that I never hear about her new family ever. She keeps pushing it and hopes against hope that I'll come around. I'm not doing this to punish her, but because the betrayal and pain are so great. Parents need to learn that they cannot lie and bully their adult children into relationships after such huge breaches of trust and loyalty. How can we feel safe around them in the future? OP, you are NTA. Your mom violated so many boundaries, and now I'm sure she's sad there are more boundaries than before. It is to keep you safe. Comment 3. NTA. I guess your mom will just have to tell the child how he came to exist when he is old enough to understand all she has to own up to. Your mom is a narcissist.